Welcome back to Say It Is with Brandon and Tyler, the last main episode for the entire year, and it's the Christmas special. So, Tyler, we are Christmas traditions, favorite Christmas memories, other traditions that you used to do or still do, because I have no idea what yours are.
I guess we had two traditions. One was we would gather all the presents, give them to everybody, whoever, whatever name they were on there, give them to everybody, we would go give them to schools. I guess we still do, but we kind of don't do that anymore. And the other one was to find the pickle ornament.
Ooh, that's a German tradition. It's a German origin. Polish? Oh, I thought it was German. Unless it was just Central Eastern Europe. Yes. Oh no! In Germany, you find you open up the present first. That not okay. Hey, so for me, it would start by first we'd show up over at the Sturgeon Bay Moravian Church, go through the Moravian candlelight service, and then from there, because my grandparents died when I was a little ankle biter, go out to the cemetery out in Shiloh to go visit their graves, put the little candles that we have, and just put them on each of the grave sites. Nowadays, because of what happened in 2015, I go out there and put 3 candles, one for my uncle and one for each of my mom's parents. And then from there, go over to, let's say, my uncles or my aunts, or we just go back to my parents and do like a Christmas Eve thing with the larger family. And with the family, we'd all sit up in the balcony at the Sturgeon Bay Moravian Church. We still do that. We typically spend a lot with, it's a lot of family stuff. Christmas Day, wake up at the butt crack of dawn, go through the presents, and then eventually do Christmas Day either at home or head to Green Bay, and then get back to Sturgeon Bay in the evening. That's how Christmas would typically go for me. Now, when it comes to one of the things I like about Christmas, the lights. The lights are pretty, sparkle, and colorful, make people happy, and myself happy because they're pretty and they sparkle. You like lights? you like lights a lot. Bring out the lights.
I have lights. I mean, when I go out and do my driving, I get to see a lot.
Oh, I saw. Yes, well, like when I did DoorDash the other day, and there was this house that was littered with lights. I mean, like the sidings, the door, literally everything, including front yard and backyard, all lights. It was just a giant ball of light. If I were to take off my glasses, because so nearsighted, just everything comes so blurry. It's just a ball of light, and it's nice. Oh, and speaking of other traditions, this past weekend, although yes, I was at my brother's undergrad graduation ceremony, came back. They played at the Glenwood Moravian Church Advent concert and candlelight service. They did a little mini, shorter candlelight service after the Advent concert where members of the congregation would create a choir, and then I just do my trombone choir stuff, bounce back and forth until the trombone choir ends it, and then we go through the candlelight service at the end. And I try to play a little game with myself where, let's see if I make sure there's not a singular drop that comes off the top of the candle. I only succeeded 2 or 3 times. This year was one of those times. And you can actually find as per normal, you can find select things from the Advent concert, what we do with the trombone choir, on the podcast YouTube channel. Just got to plug that in there. And from there, do you have anything else you want to add before we take a short break? Nope. All right. We'll be back after a few ads run, and we'll go on to the history of the popular Christmas character of Santa Claus. And welcome back. So the history of the Santa Claus figure, you have to go back to the 300s-ish, where St. Nicholas of Myra, the patron saint of sailors and children, was born into a wealthy family of Christian parents, and that area was like Turkey during the Roman Empire. When he was older, got put in jail for being a devout Christian, and the Roman Empire, which was outlawed for being a Christian was outlawed until the Emperor Constantine converted to Christianity, and they let Nicholas out of jail, and then wanted to do the First Ecumenical Council, the Council of Nicaea, so that he can learn what Christianity is all about and do all that stuff with Rome. And since St. Nicholas was a bishop, he was in attendance. Now, at the Council of Nicaea, they were trying to explain who Jesus was. The heretic Arius, a bishop at the time, was also at the Council of Nicaea. He believed that God the Son was not God, as God the Father created Jesus, which is a heresy. And according to stories, Nicholas slapped, punched, whatever, hit him in the face, well, him being Arius, in the face for being a heretic, and then he got sent back to jail. Other things that St. Nicholas of Myra has done includes the following: saving a poor man's 3 daughters from being sold off into prostitution because he could not afford dowry for them, to be married, and they were essentially needed for marriages back then. Nicholas did not want to make the father of the daughters embarrassed, so he gave away his own money in the middle of the night. Their stories will go down would be sent down chimneys. Some would be like windowsill. First time wasn't caught. Eventually he was caught and he was thanked. Kind of embarrassed for it. Either way, he didn't really value money. He just wanted to help out the family. And then for some miracles he's done, well, let's say he loved sailing and traveling boats. While traveling, he rebuked a storm and did some prayers which resulted in a storm and sea calming down, saving the ship and its crew. There are also stories where sailors did some intercessory prayers, which is something Protestants don't do, for assistance, and a vision of Nicholas reached out and calmed the storm. There was also a thing where he resurrected children who were murdered by a butcher during a famine. Then the first recorded miracle was involved when he healed a woman's withered hand by praying and making a sign of the cross over it. He was in a prophetic dream of an emperor that saved 3 generals where Nicholas demanded their release. And then the stories of St. Nicholas' generosity continued for centuries. The Dutch had a tradition where Santa Claus, Dutch for St. Nicholas, would arrive by steamboat each year to a different town or city. Kids would get candy and other goodies in their shoes. And then when Martin Luther happened with the Reformation, which started 100 years after the martyr John Huss's death, like 100 years for the Reformation. Yeah, anyways, Luther did not like the idea of intercessory prayers to the saints and placed a figure of St. Nicholas with the Christkind. This is where the name Kris Kringle was derived from. Sweden had an elf that would deliver presents via a goat pulling a sleigh. La Fana in Italy was a witch that would come down the chimney to deliver presents. In 1774, the Feast of Santa Claus was going on in Dutch communities in the U.S., and then Santa Claus was derived from the media at that time. Now, enter Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola created the marketing and the modern-day Santa Claus, essentially. The big guy, red suit, had all that. Santa wore red and white for Coca-Cola. In fact, when I was at Target recently, I saw Santa icon on the Coca-Cola bottle, so they still do that. Coca-Cola did a marketing change during the Great Depression, and there was no standard look of Santa back then. In 1821, there was a reindeer that was thrown into the picture of a poem involving St. Nicholas, so that's where the reindeer came from. The Coca-Cola released an ad in St. Louis at the world's largest soda fountain, which contained Santa Claus in it. They commissioned an artist to get a more accurate representation by the artist using a model happened to be a former salesman. Coca-Cola decided that Santa needed a sidekick, so they created Sprite Boy. This was before Sprite became a soda brand, and back then Sprite was an elf. And then somewhere in the 1930s, 40s, the Mrs. Claus character came into the picture. But St. Nicholas, from my understanding, was never married back in the 3rd, 4th century. that's all I can think of right now. I know we've gone mostly traditional. I was going to think, hey, maybe we do a thing of what all the baseball teams would want for Christmas. But I'm like, no, not really my style of doing things. So I'm going to leave it at that. Next week is the last episode-ish of this is last former episode. Next week is like a pseudo episode where it's just everything that happened in the MLB hot stove free agency, where that will be uploaded later on, just before the new year essentially. And then season 2 will be the start of the new year. Each year is a new season. First season was trying to figure out what we were going to do and how we were going to do that. Until next time. Oh, and you can contact us at letschatbt@gmail.com via email. You can contact us on Twitter/X at letschatbt. There is a Facebook announcement page where we put stuff. I also share the Trombone Fire videos there. You can go find the Facebook community group if you want to join that. There's a Discord that's like never used. And you can find us on Spotify, iHeart, Apple Podcasts. And if you want the music content, you gotta go on YouTube. Bye.